My wonderful, beautiful, amazing birthday, Leos. Happy birthday to all Leos this week. If your birthday took place, starting on a Monday or wherever it may have been, happy belated birthday, and even if it's starting on Friday, and I might not be able to wish you immediately, but either way, happy post, happy current, and happy belated birthday to you all. Thank you all so much for joining me, and hopefully all of your birthday wishes are all coming true after you blow out your birthday candles, Leo style. But anyway, I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot. For today, I'm going to be doing your past, present, future general reading of the 9 card spread. I'm going to be using the regular tarot deck, clarify with the vampire deck, draw a special vampire card, draw a vampire oracle, and then finish off with 3 yes or no answers. So let's get started on your reading. Okay, the general card is the 5 of Cups reversed, overcoming disappointment and disparity. So, let's look at the first row, which is us, your past. You start off with Knight of Wands reversed, 5 of Pentacles, and then the 4 of Cups reversed. Yeah, you could have actually, have more fire, more Aries maybe, or more Leo or Sagittarius placements, but then you also can have Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, or Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio placements as well. Yeah, it looks like that, you probably suffered from some real big disappointment, but I do love the fact that the general card is overcoming disappointment, because with the Knight of Wands reversed, it's like there was something that was kind of causing you to feel directionless. Your metaphorical fire was and not as big and powerful as you once had it, for probably a lot of times and stuff like that, because you probably faced some kind of poverty situation, potential job rejections, or being left out in the cold in other ways. But I love the fact that afterwards, despite this negative incident that took place, here you are with the 4 of Cups finally taking action as being the hunter and huntress in the entire zodiac. I mean, practically we still have Sagittarius, who's also the hunter and huntress, but since you are mostly the lion, the lioness that really goes out on the actual hunt in safari or wherever it may be, this is what I love to see you doing. You guys do not allow anybody to control or dominate you either way, or to tell you what is right or wrong. Well, that's up to you to decide, because you are king and queen of the jungle. But that's what I love to see, is that, it's like, yes, you could have probably suffered from some kind of negativity, but that it was never going to stop you or hold you back, because you guys would never allow yourself to get cornered by anybody, because you guys would definitely fight back and claim your beautiful rightful throne or crown in any ways. Wonderful. Because in current times, okay, I'm not allowed to show this card, but you get Judgment, upright Scorpio energy, so maybe you have Scorpio placements. Aries energy with the Emperor in the center of the entire read. And then 3 of Cups reversed, which is still a personal celebration. You know what I see you doing is you're finally you're creating your own fame and fortune in other ways, because with the Judgment upright, it's a sense of clarity. Your head is out of the clouds, but there's this big grand announcement that's taking place, or this big celebratory occasion that's going to be taking place in your current times. I mean, it could be taking place this week, but it could also just, be some big announcement that's going to be taking place, and that's enhancing this authoritative sense of happiness, confidence within you, this fiery from the Aries, your brother, sister, fire sign. I mean, it's interesting because Aries even got like the Sun card and stuff like that, which is actually one of your beautiful cards. So it's actually like, well, maybe you have something to do with an Aries coming up, or even in current times. And here you are with a beautiful personal celebration, probably your birthday, of whenever and wherever it is and stuff like that. But either way, I love this combination in current times for you. Love this. Okay, in the future, I'm not allowed to show this card. You do get the Devil, Capricorn. I mean, hopefully this is not taking place around December, January, but either way, whenever. Justice, Libra energy. Okay. High Priestess reversed. Okay, so what I kind of see here is, on a positive note, the Devil is what you crave, yearn, and desire and lust for in other ways. But on a negative thing is also feeling bound, feeling stuck, and just practically suffering in other ways. But yeah, And with the Justice upright, you could be winning maybe some kind of legal battle, but you're definitely going to be, faced with a sense of feeling balanced about something. But yeah, with the High Priestess reverse, it's like your senses and intuition or your past experiences. You know what I'm kind of getting here? Is that you're going to be faced with this incident taking place in the future, but you're going to have no kind of experience to be able to deal with it. But I do love the fact that the general card is definitely overcoming some kind of disappointment. So you're probably going to get something really positive out of this, event that could be taking place in the future. But anyway, so let's do some clarification. So despite the Knight of Wands reverse, you got Two of Grails. So, it's like you could have also faced some kind of like setback, disappointment, rejection of some kind of, like a moment where you just had no motivation whatsoever. But with the Two of Cups, you could also have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio placements in your star chart, but this is you and your senses and intuition, or maybe you and your current spouse, your companion, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, and wife that's also there for you to say, don't worry, we at least have each other despite this incident. But this could also be you and your senses and intuition that are pretty much just saying, okay, we need to kind of, just lick our metaphorical wounds and just kind of walk away from the situation because something probably took place that really caused you to just think, I don't feel like wanting to go further, or maybe you did feel directionless about something. Because with the Five of Pentacles, you got Ace of Grails. So, you could have, been rejected, by something, but you got a counter offering or counter proposal in the past as well from the Ace of Pentacles in other ways. Okay, well, I mean, hopefully that does resonate for you, but what I mostly see here is, it's like, it could also be that you're also left out in the cold, but yet you are being offered something way better than the Five of Pentacles, because even though Five of Pentacles versus one big pentacle, I mean, it doesn't mean that, that one, pentacle is also an act of poverty, but it could also be an act of hope of thinking that there's still options and opportunities out in this world as well. Because with the Four of Cups reversed, Queen of Wands, one of your beautiful strong suits. Mwah, happy birthday to my beautiful. This is what I love to see. You as the Queen of Wands, gender doesn't mean anything in my readings, but this is the lioness going out on the hunt. You don't want to be just only dealt with in, just, a small thing or, small offering. No, you deserve to have a palace, a kingdom, your throne, your crown. You get to, you're the king and queen nonetheless. I mean, my goodness. But this is you finally wanting to reclaim that moment. Because you've already suffered in the past. And why should a beautiful feline as yourself ever suffer? No. You guys practically have this sense of power and strength within you. Strength. I mean, we haven't come across it yet. But, I mean, we'll still see. But I already love this combination. And this is you finally taking control. Because with Judgment, you get the Moon. Okay, so, it's like, if there's this big sense of clarity, your head is out of the clouds, grand announcement, and it's leading you down this new path of the Moon. Now, it could be, like anything that has to do with Pisces, but it's also just actually being presented with this new offering coming up. Okay. I mean, I want to wish you all the best of luck on wherever and however it's going to be taking you in other ways, but I love the fact that there's definitely a grand announcement, and it's opening up this new a door of opportunity for you with the Moon. Wow. Because normally, in the Rider-Waite deck, with the Moon, you see this tiny little squiggly path that pretty much will be guiding you towards the mountains of opportunity. I mean, here you see an unhappy vampiress. Hopefully not in that aspect, but I love how, it's like you're finally approaching this new endeavor. Because with the Emperor, you have this real strong sense of this real, this power within you. And then you get Sagittarius. This is beautiful because, of course, we have Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. So three, the triage of the fire, signs that are pretty much being presented to you because, it's like this is you enhancing your fiery motivation. And, of course, you could also have Aries and Sagittarius who can always help you, will light your fire up even brighter again because, it's like the planet. Technically, the sun isn't a planet, but the sun does rule Leo for that matter. And a lot of humans, they love the sun and they love to bask in it and stuff like that. So, It's pretty much, that either you're going to be getting support from other people, or this is going to be your own inner fire that's going to be starting to light up again, because you finally have this sense of clarity, head out of the clouds, and this big grand announcement that's taking place in current times. Three of Cups reversed. You get Nine of Grail. So this beautiful personal acknowledgement is also going to be leading you off towards a sense of fulfillment in other ways as well. Fabulous, and happy birthday to my beautiful Leos again. Because what I love to see here is, it's like, just actually having choices and options and taking different routes, alternative routes, because, let's say that you've been rejected, you've been, and yeah, you tried to apply for jobs, you tried to audition, you tried to do anything, but you were just rejected, and declined, and left out in the snow, and, well, and why wouldn't that ever make anybody feel unhappy or depressed, right? It would make anybody feel unhappy. But speaking of which, about, feeling rejected and stuff like that, I'm actually going to be posting a separate video coming up. Can't say when or how, but it's going to be pretty much about how some people's opinions can pretty much, negatively impact other people's lives in their own path in other ways, because the human wanted me to more or less tell, his story, from the vampiric perspective, but also from my own personal experience from other thousands of humans that I've come across, is whatever you feel like, let's say you're applying for a job, and just because some person's perspective and opinions for that matter, it's just only their train of thought at that moment when they say, I like to have this job, that they pretty much are thinking yes or no. And that's the thing is, it's like, yes, it could save somebody's life and take them out of poverty, or no, it could send somebody into poverty and ruin their lives in other ways. But anyway, I just want to kind of throw that out here. But I do see that, you're heading down these other options and opportunities, and you're going to have a wonderful big sense of fulfillment coming up. So, despite the Devil, you get the Ace of Wands from the Queen of Wands. So what I see you doing is, it's like either, you could be striking a deal with the Devil, which I would never recommend, but it's like, well, you want to actually leave the devilish situation. So you're going to be putting time and energy on how you're going to get out of this, shackled and being bound by the devil of uncertainty, self-doubt, lack of clarity, or lack of faith within yourself. And who could do it way better than a Leo is you. Because, let's say that, you're walking through a grave site, and you fall into a grave, an empty grave. The only person who could ever get you out of that, unless there's other people around, is you and you alone. If this happened around after midnight and stuff like that, I mean, hopefully not. But, is that the only person who could ever get you out of any kind of situation that you think, my goodness, I am not receiving any help or support or guidance here. And sadly, but you and you alone, but you guys are powerful, strong individuals on so many levels. And I know you guys can do this. So, Justice, oof, you get hit with the Five of Pentacles. So, there could be a sense of justice, but it could also lead you off towards poverty again. But it could also just be that, the big bad wolf decided to show up because of the devil. Because maybe this is also the devil in the skies of thinking, okay, you want to try to find a sense of balance, justice, or anything. Well, the devil is going to try to do something to you to actually try to bounce you off of your, your confidence level. Because, this is where you're finally using, the scepters. I mean, I almost wanted to call it a stake because, it's like I did actually watch that Dracula movie though. But anyway, but anyway, it was just entertaining and all in other ways. But so this isn't a stake, it is a scepter, but it just shows that you're trying to escape it. But the devil or any kind of deity is going to try to keep you, from actually finding that sense of balance within yourself. And so, it's like, well, so far, you're actually, like escaping this poverty situation. You could be offered or presented with a new opportunity and options for that matter, but you could also be suddenly hit with an unforeseen circumstance. But I do love that the General card is definitely overcoming disappointment and disparity in other ways. Because despite the High Priestess of not having much knowledge or past experiences or maybe your senses and intuition could be blocked, you get the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is that either, you're going to have to be giving something or you could be receiving something in the end. So this could also be an unforeseen, unexpected offering or event that could be taking place in the future. I mean, of course, you want to find a sense of balance, maybe justice, and then suddenly you are hit with a big bad wolf and maybe, ending into poverty. But this could also be this unforeseen circumstance that could turn around and turn it into this beautiful offering well, from other aspects as well, because it is a sense of overcoming some kind of disappointment of some kind. So it's not like you're only just going to be sensing, down to unhappiness. But of course, this is what you could also be worried about the future as well, is to think, okay, right now I'm happy, but what if it's, in about a week, if something negative happens? The thing is we're not there yet to be experiencing what the future holds for us. It could be a beautiful outcome or it could be a negative outcome, but do we have any kind of impact? Whatever you work on right now will have some kind of impact on what happens in a week, for that matter. If you don't do anything, it might end up good or bad, but maybe if you put time and effort on applying the appropriate resources and tools to be able to enhance any kind of alternate outcome, perhaps that could also benefit it in other ways. But either way, take it how this reading resonates. Because your special card says Six of Cups. Nostalgia City. Now, you could also be facing negativity and then craving, the nostalgia of being back at, any kind of time frame. And, sometimes I have those moments myself. And the sad but true, sometimes I even have dreams about being back and, with my parents and siblings and stuff like that as well. And then I wake up and then I think, I'm a vampire in modern day. Who am I? And stuff like that. But so, well, you're never alone when it comes to actually wanting to find those moments again. Because Oracle says discipline, training, consistency, and practice. So the thing is what I kind of see here is, you just have to keep at it. You don't give up on what you truly want, dream, wish, and desire. If you want to have a sense of balance, if you want to escape from any kind of negativity, all you have to do is just keep working at it and just, take the appropriate steps. I think I even mentioned either to Cancer or Gemini for this, but they were also kind of suffering as well. And so even if it takes about 10-15 minutes a day to keep practicing or to keep consistent or to train towards something, as long as you keep at it, then eventually something is going to, it will work in your favor, whether it's the same or equal or greater value in the end. Well, I'm going to finish off with 3 yes or no answers. Please feel free to pause this video and think about the questions you want answered. For number 1, you do get a no with the 7 of Cups reversed. A yes with the 8 of Swords reversed. And a yes with the Chariot. Okay, my birthday Leos. Happy birthday to you all again. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys incredibly. If this reading resonated for you all, please feel free to join and subscribe to my channel. I think, I want to wish you all the best of luck on this beautiful voyage, because in a few days I'm going back to general love reading. So for now I'm just doing general and love. But if you guys are open for any kind of personal readings, I have this link that the human posted for me on my YouTube channel. It's called Project Page, and it's on the tab of Project Page, so please feel free to browse through any of the prices if you may be interested in a personal reading. Other than that, I love you guys incredibly. I want to wish you all a fabulous birthday week. Thank you so much for joining me, and I love you guys incredibly.